Through the halls of Doom history are many legendary names, map designers who pioneered levels into art. Today we are going back to the year 1996. 30 years ago, Anthony Czerwonka and Iikka Keränen raised the bar of standards in how we judge custom levels. This is a review of their legendary WAD Dystopia 3, Rebirth of Anarchy. Released on May 14th, 1996, this WAD is notable for being one of the first to feature custom textures, complex architecture, and pseudo-3D bridges. It finished in the top 3 of Doom World's top 10 WADs of 1996, sitting behind only Memento Mori 1 and 2. You might be wondering, why is it called Dystopia 3? Are there 2 previous map sets leading up to this one? Sort of. Dystopia started as a single-level P-WAD that was originally designed for Heretic. It was released by Anthony Czerwonka in 1995, and that is where I will begin the review. DSDA Doom is my source port of choice. I keep everything strictly vanilla and play on ultra-violence difficulty, the gentleman's way of playing Doom. Dystopia begins in a green marble room and a rocking MIDI track. Step forward and an elevator lowers. You could pick up a shotgun or 2 by jumping off on the ride up. The elevator leads to a large room full of shotgunners and zombie men. A blue mega armor sits on the pedestal to your left-hand side. On the far side is a berserk pack in case you want to rip and tear your way through these former Marines. Returning to the starting room will reveal monster closets, each with a shotgunner and 2 zombies. With the yellow key, you can descend down this hall, taking out all the zombies until you reach the door. And this is where the level opens up. Dystopia is divided into 4 giant square outside areas that look like this. In all of them are short hallways leading to interior areas that are required for hunting keys. I don't know what the problem is here. I get stuck by some invisible wall on both sides. If anyone knows why this is happening, please tell me in the comments. The first thing you're going to want to do is get your hands on superior firepower, unless you enjoy fighting revenants without a super shotgun. There are plenty of cell packs to use the plasma rifle if you find it before the super shotgun. Adelusion is more than happy to leave hordes of ammo and stim packs for the player, compensating for how much he enjoys using mid to high tier monsters. I like this hallway with the cages. You flip the switch and the lights come on. There are 2 secrets in this map. Both can be found by going through a hallway and listening for a door opening. This one is important because it has the computer area map you most likely will want. As you backtrack to the 4 central areas, walls lower and more monsters come out to play. They can even open doors and follow you around if you're playing too slow. The blue key opens this room with a caged archvile. He can be taken out from afar. When you cross halfway, you will hear cacodemons waking up. There is a BFG here, and it's one of the 2 places you can find it. You have to hop around on the pillars. Ignore the white teleporter texture under 1, it is simply a decoration. If you fall down, there is no way back up. You might think that the skin texture is an elevator like in the original game, but it's simply there to give you false hope. The other BFG can be found in this secret room. Watch for the chain gunners to come out of the invisible walls. I like the chair, it's very Doom cute, straight out of 1995. Back to the blue key room, what was the archvile guarding? This portal takes you to a large room with a cyber demon, spider mastermind, hell knights, mancubi, revenants, and a pain elemental to spawn lost souls. This is the highlight fight of the map. You get an invulnerability pickup just in case the situation becomes scary. Everyone who plays this is just going to watch the cyber demon and mastermind duke it out while running from the other monsters. In all of my playthroughs, the mastermind won multiple times. This is one of the rare occasions where the big guy falls to the queen. After you're done with all this, you might get stuck in this room. The pillars move, closing in. The way out is from pressing the pillars. You won't hear them, but you have to go check in the water. I cleared the revenants while they were closed in just to be safe. With the red key, you have to backtrack to the door that is now blocked off. This requires the player to follow a specific path, hence why finding the computer map was so important. Into the wooden corridors we go. This room with the crushers is a cool set piece, but I was unable to get it to take out many of the enemies. This room with the icon of Sin is a decoration and it's not a secret, just a cool room to check out. After all this, if you saved the invulnerability thinking that the red key would lead to a big fight, you would be woefully mistaken. That's it, the exit, and the end of the level. For 1995, this is a pretty good single level. I found it to be a fun ride. The difficulty is just right without overwhelming the player. If anyone knows anything about the MIDI track, please tell me in the comments. I love this music. It has a groove to it and the guitar riffs remind me of Prong. Flash forward a year later. Anthony Czerwonka teams up with rising star Iikka Keränen to create Dystopia 3. There are only 11 maps, 5 for each author, and then one final level where their contributions are shared equally. Within the download folder is a text file with a humorous story if you're interested in reading it. All of the levels are unnamed, so I will simply mark them as map 1, 2, 3, and so on. The first thing we agree with is this beautiful blue skybox. Welcome back to the 90s. You want to accidentally fall backwards into the pit and pick up this Berserk pack. Within seconds we get the first secret. The Berserk will come in handy for what awaits behind that door. I love these new custom textures. They're different. If you played Requiem, you are starting to get a hint of how Doom maps evolved in the years forward. Into this room has Pinkies and an imp sitting on the pedestal. When you climb up here, a switch will raise. Here's one of the cool tricks of this map. Each corner of this pedestal has a switch. You can press them before they are raised and build the stairs to every room. This is a speedrun trick mentioned on the Doom Wiki article by Carlos Hoyos. You're supposed to visit the first room, deal with the imps, and collect a key. Each time you journey back to the central room, a new switch raises and more monsters have teleported in. Medkits sit atop this bloody execution tower. This decoration fits well with the new textures. The pillar for the yellow key rises out of the floor and is guarded by a Baron who teleports in. One of my favorite little details about 90s WADs is how frequently Barons were used. This is only the first level and we meet a Baron before a Hell Knight. Cool map and can definitely be used for practicing speedrunning. We begin under fire inside a crashed car. Iikka Keränen gives a strong introduction in this set piece, but before we can enjoy the scenery we have enemies to deal with, including 2 cacodemons that come from behind. This is the crash car. I love this, it is so cool. The definition of Doom cute from 1996. It even has lights and there is a leak from the engine. The trunk is popped open with a chainsaw. Go around the back and you can see tires. Where are we? Up above you can see parts of a bridge that has broken off. The setting of this level reminds me of J.G. Ballard's classic novel Concrete Island. Doom guy might as well be named Robert Maitland for this level. This is a tough level for pistol start. If you played Requiem, you already know how it feels to be starved of ammo in Keranen's maps. More Pinkies need to be dealt with. Behind this tiny building are 8 shotgun shells. The chain gunners have a Berserk pack that you'll most definitely need for saving ammo. This next area is a beautiful hellish building with blood pools. Behind the door is a narrow passage with a Hell Knight and no wiggle room to fight him. Shotgunners are up top and in windows where they can easily snipe you. None of this is fun to deal with, but it looks gorgeous from a design perspective. When you open the red key door, the opposite door immediately opens too. You will have a chain gunner in front and from behind, and from other windows an Arachnotron can easily snipe you. The blue key is guarded by a Mancubus and Revenant. Close Quarters Combat 101. The super shotgun of this map is also in this room as a secret area. You must look out and shoot a switch to open this wall with a cool blood fountain inside. The blue key door leads to this area with another hellish building. The SSG will take care of the arachnotrons and some imps. Look at this beautiful architecture. Remember, this is from 1996. Iikka Keränen designed amazing stuff, and this is one of my favorite parts of this WAD. And yes, that is a damaging floor where the green armor sits. In this room is a horde of cacodemons that need to be dealt with first. When you flip the switch, walls raise for arachnotrons. Keränen knows how sadistic this trap is and hides an invulnerability behind the switch. You will need it to survive this room, but you might not want to waste its usefulness dealing with the mechanical spiders. Go back out, now you have mancubi and revenants to deal with. The final bit of this map is this red brick tower with a staircase full of hit scanners and leading to this room with Hell Knight and a Baron. Not much room to maneuver as you deal with them in close quarters. Once they are taken care of, flip the switch and that's it. This is a beautiful map. I love the car and the gothic style hell architecture. Iikka Keränen has an attention to detail that still looks impressive 30 years later. That said, much of the map is not fun to play. The first hell building with the Hell Knight is the biggest issue I have. If you played Requiem, you're probably familiar with Keranen's maps and how much he liked using a Mancubus or a Baron in tight spaces to make for a tough fight. We will be seeing that often in this WAD. From a crashed spaceship, you emerge in the rocky terrain ready to race. Yes, this map is a race. You have 17 seconds to go around in a circle from start to finish. As you progress, rock walls appear in your path to slow you down. It's an automatic death if you can't beat the timer. The gimmick of this map can seem annoying, but I found it to be interesting and even quite fun. Once you win the race, the rest of the map opens up with new pathways. This is essentially a small town full of hit scanners that can snipe you from a distance, and the trademark placement of mid and high tier enemies in compact areas. Iikka Keränen loves placing mancubi in areas like this that make them a hindrance to fight. The rest of the map is a key hunt through nicely designed buildings full of enemies in close quarters, making for painful combat scenarios. The one thing that makes this map so difficult is that there is no armor. There are soul spheres that come in handy, but without armor, chip damage from hit scanners will tear through your extended health. The end of this map has this crusher trap that has to be timed perfectly, otherwise you're flattened. Again. And again. And again. Despite the difficulty, this is a cool map and I give credit to Keränen for his architecture designs. I like the race gimmick and in a way it makes me think of map 28 from Scythe. The lack of armor also reminds me of Scythe's hell levels. Without armor pickups, a map can become so much harder. Adelusion brings us to an overrun tech base. You start out with chain gunners hidden in the corners outside the door and a bunch of shotgunners and imps. The holes in the floor will raise later. The first thing you must do is establish a foothold, taking out as many enemies as you possibly can. Stepping close to the switch will reveal 2 cacodemons in a trap. You will want to deal with them first so you're not overwhelmed by monsters waiting in the pits. The switch will raise this out of the floor, and if you remember map 1, the same trick works here. You can press all the switches while they are still in the floor. This one requires you to shoot from a distance. Pinkies, imps, and lost souls are all you have to deal with. When you're ready to venture forward, go down the elevator and deal with the pinkies. This door leads to an outer area chock full of hit scanners. Chain gunners are hidden in corners to punish a player who dashes in here without thinking. We can't get the red key yet, but we will later. Lost souls will begin flying up and hurling at you from the windows. This room leads to this area and it too is full of hit scanners and imps. I love the new textures and how detailed all of this is. We can't open that door, but stepping there will open a secret. Into this giant room full of enemies and box crates, hit scanners can snipe you from the control room, so be careful. This switch opens a secret door in the box crates leading down this gorgeous green hallway with chain gunners. This wall lowers a monster closet, the Cacodemon shotgunner, or the threat. For some reason, the Mancubus is stuck idle and will not move. And again from the other side, this Mancubus is also stuck. The textures are so cool, it reminds me of something from Unreal, 2 years before that was released. The green textures also make me think of something from Unreal. I wonder if the guys who made that were fans of this WAD. Behind the yellow key door is a switch that will give us access to the red skull key. Picking it up will trigger a trap with cacodemons and a barrier closing you in. At first, I thought the barrier was on a timer. The switch is back here. Through the red key door leads to this exit. I like this map. I think it's one of the strongest that the WAD has to offer. This is also one of only 2 levels that has a different MIDI track. Lunar Outpost is the song taken from Descent's soundtrack. Adelusion takes the gloves off in the opening seconds of this map and gets nasty with the player. This is where Dystopia 3 kicks up the difficulty. You start in a dark cavern with no cover and overrun with enemies. Revenants, imps, hit scanners, cacodemons, mancubi from afar, specters in the pit, and even a pain elemental. To survive, you have to keep moving and jump down the water when you need to. Behind the bridge will lead to amplification goggles and a teleporter. There's a secret soul sphere on the ledge here, but it raises slowly and leaves you as a sitting duck. You can run across the bridge to the other side to give yourself some space from the revenants. In my playthroughs, they prove to be the biggest problem. The pain elemental can be hazardous if he's ignored and left alone to fill up the room with lost souls. Check out this pseudo 3D bridge, one of the many cool pieces of architecture throughout these levels. When you're ready to move on, enter this small corridor and watch for the chain gunner ambush. I love the bloody cage textures, neat little details that make up this WAD. Into this room with shotgunners and 2 revenants hidden in an alcove fire rockets at you from behind. This is another control room we will be revisiting. I love this hallway. The red lights remind me of Star Wars. More cool details with this wall of computer control screens. The green armor is a secret. To get the yellow skull key, you have to backtrack to this little room that now has crushers. I like the textures on the crushers, and this one isn't as difficult as the trap in map 3. This room has a surprise Baron who teleports in to say hi. The final room is the red key door and it opens to this ancient looking room with a mancubus. After him is a whole horde of revenants and lost souls to deal with. I love the shadows and the architecture here. It looks like some kind of demonic altar room. The strange space in the middle is the teleporter exit. Pretty tough map. The fights are more intense, but what makes this level stand out is the architecture. This one was designed entirely by Adelusion, and I think he did a superb job. Definitely one of the most memorable maps of the set. We are now in Iikka Keränen country. The next 3 maps are all his, and this one is the least difficult. We begin on a cute little boat that is docked at a green river of rocky mountains. Up to the top, you find a beautifully constructed building with small details, the trademark use of higher tier monsters in tight spaces here. Keränen utilizes the Doom 2 monster roster effectively with revenants, arachnotrons, and mancubi. This is a pretty cool elevator. Essentially, this is a key hunt through narrow passages with little to no cover at all, making it difficult to fight the monsters. The aesthetics are the real strength of this map. Everything looks cool. This room has a secret. Shoot through this narrow wall and it will lower the plasma gun. The exit is down below, guarded by 2 barons. Behind the door is an archvile, and I messed around with him a little bit in my playthrough. The end has this cute little boat with a berserk pack. If you're not playing pistol start, make sure you switch back to your SSG before flipping that switch. This map at least gives the player a healthy supply of energy cells to have fun with the plasma rifle. Overall, one of Keranen's best maps. Right from the start of this level is a rude awakening. You are surrounded by hit scanners and imps. You will want to get out of the tight space to maneuver around. Check out the spaceship. More Doom cute awesomeness. A tight corridor with a revenant opens up the next space. This is one of the hardest levels. It is full of tight, cramped spaces loaded with high-tier enemies, crusher traps, and a ridiculous final fight I'll talk about later. A trademark of this WAD is to put a mancubus in a small area like this. The outdoor areas have good monster placement and can make some fun fights. Fall into the radiation pit and flip the switch to get a megasphere. Look at all these cacodemons stacked over top of each other. Yes, they can hit you and that makes them threatening, but it just looks kinda ridiculous. They mostly serve to eat through your ammo, which reminds me of Keranen's levels in Requiem. Behind that door is the first crusher trap and a baron who will not go out of the doorway to get squished. 2 more crusher traps and door frames lead to the cacodemon rooms with switches that need to be pressed. This mancubus won't get crushed. You have to waste precious ammo on him. Through this hall introduces our first cyber demons of the WAD, caged on both sides. Take care of the imps and go behind the chair for a switch. This activates crushers to flatten the cyber demons. At least you get to sit around and watch something funny happen. Back outside, a monster closet has lowered with a mancubus. The path to the red key leads down more tight corridors with difficult fights like this. Of course, the trademark mancubus has to be there in places that make him hard to take out. More than once. Behind the red door is a spam of shotgunners and then a door with 4 cacodemons, but hey, at least you get a soul sphere out of all this. That will come in handy very soon, I can tell you that. The red key switch is outside, don't get spooked by it. It lowers this gate leading to a staircase and some well-placed enemies. All that leads to this small building with small corridors where you can discharge the plasma gun at enemies down lines. Remember when I said this map had a final fight that is on the ridiculous side? This is what I was talking about. In this room is a teleporting cyber demon. You must hit the switches to lower all the walls and then raise the stairs at a final switch. I don't fault anyone for safe scumming through this WAD, especially not this room. You should absolutely save before reaching this point. This is like a puzzle I would expect out of Cyber Dreams. This one room alone makes this map one of the most difficult from the year 1996. It takes so many tries to get right, and in my recorded footage I was so frustrated that I unloaded on the Cyber Demon and wasted some of my ammo. You aren't done with him yet. For all your trouble, you're rewarded with a soul sphere and arachnotrons to deplete more of your ammo. The final room is this red square room with the cyber demon, but there's a big catch. He's not alone. Mancubi are there too, and you can finally take him out with this switch to activate a crusher. But good luck with the Mancubi. If you're not pistol starting, they exist solely to drain the remainder of your ammo trying to get 100% kills. In my opinion, it is not even worth it in this map. So that's map 7. Very tough level full of gimmicks and hard fights and cramped spaces. I don't think it would be that bad if not for the Cyber Demon teleporting puzzle. That room alone makes this map so frustrating. It does have some cool buildings and set pieces, it's just not fun to play. A beginning that was not designed with pistol start in mind. You are outside of a building and swarmed by hit scanners early on. They're on the ground, also up on the cliff side. Around the back of this area has tougher monsters. Inside this building are more hit scanners and a Hell Knight to climb the stairs. It wouldn't be a Dystopia map if there wasn't a Mancubus in a tight space. If you played Requiem, this map is going to feel very similar to something from that. Not only is it an Iikka Keränen level, but it is most likely the prototype for what will become map 8. I like that level, but I can't say the same for this one. The elevator looks more akin to the expressway of hell. As soon as you press that switch, a slow descent comes with enemies firing at you from multiple sides. This map is a painful adventure through tight corridors, fighting enemies with high health, no armor, and ammo starvation. Along the way, there are also traps that you will take damage in some areas. If you're wondering if Keränen hid Mancubi in corners, the answer is yes. This room with the faces in the walls is a death trap. The one good thing I can say about this map is that you can find the BFG in this underground maze, and even better, you get to discharge it on these two revenants and this archvile. But why was the BFG put there? A very specific reason. When you find this gray and green marble hallway, you've stumbled upon the exit. The teleporter leads to this room with the Baron face in the wall, and at first nothing happens. At first you may think you're soft-locked and forgot to flip a switch or something, but that's not the case. It's a time wall that will eventually lower to the icon of sin and the sound of not one but two cyber demons. No enemies spawn. Instead, the big guys are up there with invisible walls where they can shoot you. You have to fight two cyber demons in this tight space, meaning that you have to two-shot them. At least one has to be killed before you can venture to the top. They come down elevators and you fight them in this cramped space where splash damage can easily kill you. This is the only way to possibly outdo the Cyber Demon teleporter puzzle in the previous map. I couldn't do it. I'm not a Doom Master nor am I a speedrunner, so 100% kills didn't matter to me with this level. I just wanted to get out of here. Behind the icon of sin is a Romero's head to finish the level. Without the Cyber Demon room, this map would still be painful. There is no armor. There's a hidden megasphere which I did not show off. I didn't care for this map. Part of my distaste is because I played Requiem so many times and I like its version of map 8, which is more polished than this one. It's still hard, but it's at least doable. This one is torture and I simply don't have the patience or skills of a Doom god to thoroughly master this level. The torment continues. Adelusion is back and he picks up where his partner left off with punishing the player. You start at the top of this tower with no cover from Mancubi fire and imps. Down below you will have barons pop up as you round the corners. Below that are pits with specters. You have to flip this switch and then go here. Wait for the Mancubus to pop up and deal with him. Collecting the blue skull key lowers a wall on both sides with cacodemons. Down below you might see a megasphere which you may or may not be able to get. An elevator lowers in the poison on the right, but it only lowers once, so if you jump down here after it lowers, you're stuck and that's the end. This one megasphere becomes impossible to get if you miss that timer, and then it's just stuck there in a radiation pit. When you return to the pillar, revenants have joined the fray and you're likely out of ammo or close to it by now. Good thing there are also 2 pain elementals to deal with, that sure is fun. But that's not all. This switch is guarded by an archvile and more revenants that come out. I would not be able to do this if I didn't have the BFG from the previous level. Back at the start is the yellow key door which leads to this. I wouldn't have a problem with these fights if there was more ammo laying around, but you're starved by the time you're done with all of it. The red key door is the final area. You enter this room with more revenants and creepy experiments. Check out this vial. I guess it's some kind of chemical experiment. In the room behind here is another laboratory. Take out the cacodemons, you'll see 2 more strange vials. Very cool decorations. When you're ready for the final fight, pick up the blur sphere, flip the switch, and say hello to the Spider Mastermind. There is just enough cell ammo to BFG her. Flip that switch and it will lower the walls to go back out. And now a Romero's head is in one of those creepy cylinders. Take it out and that's the end of the level. Quite a tough map. Adelusion does not go easy on the player picking up the slack where his partner left off. I like this level except for the Megasphere secret and the ammo starvation. I would say the Mancubus is Keranen's favorite Doom monster, but Adelusion loves Mancubi too. The difference is Adelusion uses them more effectively and places them in areas where they can make your life miserable from a distance. The end of this map is really cool, I just wish there was more ammo to make it less painful. The penultimate level and the final one soloed by Adelusion is a tech base full of long linear hallways, big fights, and hit scares. This level is hard like the last one due to ammo starvation. Throughout the map you will feel like you're constantly at razor's edge after fighting so many monsters at once. There are some well placed traps, but where most of your ammo goes is dealing with higher tier enemies that need more than 4 shotgun shells to deal with. The yellow key cannot be obtained without the blue key. If you go down there to get it, there is no way back up. You need the blue key to hit the switch, which lowers a trap and also raises steps to get out of the pit with the yellow key. Remember that these are switches. You need to press them to unlock the red key and lower this trap with another switch. The ending of this level involves a teleporter puzzle and leads to some interesting fights that utilize the archvile effectively. For all your trouble, you're rewarded with mega armor and a soul sphere. I like this map despite the ammo issues. It's a fun tech base, but it can be brutal because you end up running around with such little ammo for your weapons. The final fight is one of the best in the WAD, and I give big credit to Adelusion for coming up with that scenario. The music track is from the Heretic soundtrack and a nice hat tip to the game where Dystopia originally began. To make up for doing all of this on a continuous play, I decided to finish the final map as a pistol start. In the beginning, we collect a bunch of weapons: shotgun, rocket launcher, plasma rifle. You need the plasma gun right away to take care of these revenants. And then say hello to Mancubi. This is the last level, so it is fitting that we see them right at the start. A Baron is your next foe and can be taken care of. Tight spaces that make close quarters combat difficult with hordes of monsters. Mr. Fingers shows his signature trademark of highly detailed interiors. Here we collect the super shotgun after going through all of that. Outside the building leads to this area where you're under fire from revenant rockets and arachnotron plasma from afar. And somewhere below you'll hear a cyber demon stomping around. Look at these 3D bridges. This alone makes this level worth playing to witness technological brilliance from 30 years ago. Up here is where the blue key is, and Keränen begins feeding us energy cells to use the plasma rifle throughout the level. Another red brick tower reminiscent of the one in Map 2, complete with hit scanners, but this time a Baron is guarding the BFG. Now that we have it, we can shoot that big, beautiful green ball of death throughout the map. There is so much plasma ammo laying about, this makes for a fun time with the BFG. And this room has the yellow key and traps that unleash chain gunners and revenants. I messed around here and took a brunt of unnecessary damage, but hey, mistakes happen. This room has 2 revenants and a teleporter that takes you down below to fight a Mancubus and the Cyber Demon. This makes for an interesting Cyber Demon fight over poison liquid. I'm not going to criticize this fight too much because it's at least less painful than the Cyber Demons in maps 7 and 8. With the yellow key, we can finally deal with the revenants on the bridge. A Berserk pack will change your weapon automatically and cause me to panic here. An Archvile is the final real threat. Before we can exit, we must go down this balcony and hit the switch. Are you ready for the grand finale? Sit back and watch. And that's all, folks. That ending alone made this WAD worth playing. It is one of the funniest endings to any Doom WAD. Should you play Dystopia 3? For the ending, yes. It's a testament to Doom history, and you can see where the 2 designers became pioneers of map design. The final map is my favorite. Not just for the ending, I appreciate the way the level encourages the player to go off with the plasma gun at BFG. Map 4 is my second favorite, and as for Keranen's levels, I would go with Map 2, just because it reminds me of one of my favorite J.G. Ballard novels. Both map designers were part of Doom World's 5 Years of Doom feature where they were interviewed. Adelusion used to have a website that was last updated in 1999. He worked on other megawads in 1997 and 1998. Both he and Keränen appear in Requiem. Adelusion also worked on Strain, Gothic DM, and Hacks. Iikka Keränen went on to work for Ion Storm and Valve. He is credited as a level designer with both companies. He worked on Anarchy, however you say that, and Counter-Strike. He also worked on Quake mods. Among his time in the Doom community, he also contributed to Requiem and Strain. He teamed up with his buddy Adelusion again in 1999 for a map in Slaughter Deathmatch. Both of these guys love Deathmatch, and Iikka briefly returned to Doom in 2003 when he released a Deathmatch WAD called Yesterday's Brownies. It looks beautiful and could be a fun time with other players. These guys raised the standard of map design in the early years of Doom, and 30 years later their levels still look impressive to this day, a testament of their talents. We are not done yet. There was still one more Dystopia level that came out in 1996 as an add-on to this WAD. Dystopia 301, designed entirely by Adelusion alone. Since there is no MIDI track, I decided to use the awesome music from the first Dystopia map. The opening of this map is downright brutal. A super shotgun in your ambush from all 4 sides by revenants. It will take you several tries before you eventually survive, and if you're someone like me, you might even do a save state. Hell Knights are your next foe. One has a box of shotgun shells in his alcove. Where Dystopia 301 shines is in the dark lighting combined with the textures from the main WAD. Adelusion puts hit scanners in areas that make them difficult to see and all the more deadly. And this room has a surprise arachnotron as soon as you pick up the plasma rifle. The final room is this gauntlet of pain. Revenants pop up and then you have to dash for the red key as Mancubi join the fray with an Archvile and Baron. I could not achieve 100% kills in this map and I died so many times in this room, but the red key opens the exit. Overall, a decent map, though very tough and stingy on ammo. In the end, I am happy I played these maps and was able to review them. They are parts of Doom history and worthy of the respect and praise they've earned. And with that, I bid you farewell. Thank you for watching.